Hello, my name is Owen. Today I'll be giving a quick review of The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie. What I want to do is just give a brief overview what the book is about and then tell you the things I liked and the things that I didn't. And jumping right into it, I read this book on my Kindle. I did not have a physical copy. And also, this book takes place in Abercrombie's The First Law world, his established world. I had previously read the first three books he wrote in this world, the First Law trilogy, and I believe this was the fifth book he wrote. But it's a standalone novel, which means that even though I read the first trilogy, I don't think it's completely necessary to having read anything in this world beforehand. It just helps a little bit with some of the characters you might recognize from the original trilogy, and maybe like references and stuff like that. But none of the main characters from the original trilogies are main point of view characters in this book. So I would say it's not completely necessary. It just might be helpful if you want to understand everything they're talking about. But the book basically follows just one battle over 3 days between the North, which are these like barbarian types, versus like the civilized Union, which is your classic like knights, and they have a king and generals and stuff like that. But Abercrombie takes multiple point of view characters from both sides of the battle, and going right into the things I really like Abercrombie's characters. I recommend his First Law trilogy if you haven't checked it out. I really like the characters in that, and he hits again with these characters. Every single one has its own hook to grab you into their storyline. There wasn't any storyline where I felt like, oh boy, like here comes the boring one. I can't wait to get to like the interesting stuff. There are more interesting parts for each point of view, but every character was compelling, and they were all very unique. Abercrombie does a good job of giving them unique personality traits, and although his books, while very grounded in like bloody realism, sometimes they're a little bit cartoonish, I feel like in some ways, but that's not an insult at all. I really liked all the characters in this book. I thought that was really strong. The pacing, it's breakneck. It's a battle. It's all about a battle. And I think it takes place over like 4 days total. 3 of them just bloody massacres of a battle. And Abercrombie does a really good job at also instilling humor into almost every chapter. There's a lot of humorous characters, a lot of wit and banter. But he also throws in some more like contemplative, deep lines, which are sometimes cheesy and sometimes like little like hitting you over the head. But a lot of the times they're actually pretty insightful, and I think that when I was reading Kindle, they show the most highlighted quotes, and there was a lot of like lines about like war and like love and stuff like that that I see a lot of people really enjoyed. I guess is like 200 people highlighted this line, but Abercrombie does a good job at throwing those in along with like the humorous sections. But going into the things that I didn't like, really the only issues I had was with the ending. Having read the First Law trilogy, it ended in a similar way where, well, I don't want to spoil it, but Abercrombie is a grimdark writer, which means that his stories don't normally have a happy ending, and it's not a tragedy by any means, I guess depending on who you ask, but it's not a Shakespearean tragedy. But it is when you end it, it's kind of like, well, what was it all for? Which I guess is a point to be made, but, just depressing sometimes, and sometimes you just want a happy ending. But other than that, there was also some parts of the story where I felt like his characters only did things because they had to do them and not because it really made sense. There's a part at the end where one character gets out of a bad situation through the actions of another character. I don't want to spoil it, but I just felt that was a little bit contrived. And in this realistic people die world that Abercrombie's created, I didn't think that it felt out of place, and it kind of took me out of it. But that's really a small complaint. Overall, I really did enjoy the book. It's fast-paced, it's bloody, it's witty, it's insightful. And I did have to take a break after reading his first trilogy because of how depressed I was afterwards. And I think after reading this one, it's got me back in the groove a little bit, and I'll probably be diving into more Abercrombie stuff, maybe his newer trilogy set in this world. But yeah, I recommend it, and I hope you guys check it out. Thanks.